down on Westeros. It's like that's coming eventually. Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's quite the metaphor. Let's cut through the metaphor and be real. What's it like? Is it uncomfortable sometimes when the Academy hangs out with, Ghost proper and they see potential future replacements? How do you guys deal with that?
That's not really how it is. It's more so like we're all one team. It's not really like, oh, we don't really not like each other because, oh, you're going to take our job. It's like we work together. We're helping them try and progress as a team.
Very cool.
It's I don't want to get in their heads or anything. Like, we should just be helping them get past top 10 and help them improve instead of just like, I'm taking your job. It's not a rivalry at all.
Are you guys actively helping them try to like change strategy?
Whenever they ask for anything, yeah. And me and Kickstart are here every single weekend watching.
Nice.
So
okay, so let me pivot that since we're talking about making teams better. You played for E United back in GLL. You guys were contenders for really, honestly, 4th place in the world, as that was an international event.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first one to say I love E United. I love the guys.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of them since you played with them. But it feels like something other than you leaving. Like, what's causing this sort of dramatic slide for E United? How do they get back?
Well, I think they don't have like an actual leader to maintain. Like, they have really strong fragging ability, and I just don't think they have that one guy to like kind of rally the troops together and get them focused on the game. And like, I feel like they are really struggling, just rapidly coming from having one guy who hard IGLs. It was just me. I was the main one talking over and over again, and then randomly me just being gone. I just feel like maybe they're having a little issues adapting to the new meta. Like, they have to learn a new meta, and they don't have someone to lead them through that.
They lost you, and then they lost Camus, who was coaching them as well,
exactly.
like right after that.
Yeah.
So it's a tough transition period. Is it hard for teams to bounce back from that?
I mean, it just depends on how they handle the situation. I mean, if they work together, I'm sure they could be right back in the top of NPL very soon.
Let's pivot away from like specific teams, and I wanted to ask, what's your biggest takeaway, looking in from the outside, but still being able to play as high, if not higher of a level of any of the players down on the stadium? What's your biggest takeaway from this new season, from all these new teams that have kind of come up in the NA scene, as well as the new, I guess, competitive format that we've developed for the NPL this year?
Well, it's very interesting. As you know, it's a lot more kill heavy than previously. And I actually am taking away a lot watching every single game here, because I get to see literally everything and what all the tendencies are and how to play different circles, etc. And I'm really taking away from the top 5 teams and how they're like not just playing brain dead aggressive, like they have good positioning, they work together as a team and a unit. They're not getting tilted at each other. Like, you never see teams like Tempo Storm or Y10 Fate, Shoot to Kill, etc. You never see them raging at each other. They're always just being really calm and composed, and you really see that reflect in game and their team play.
So as we move towards the Face It Classic and everybody's sort of coming out and adjusting to the new meta formats and stuff, do you think, so teams like SSG, I think, are still sort of playing that old meta style a little bit, looking for placement and then kills that come with it. Is that something that's going to disappear in the next couple of months, or do you think there's a relevant place for that style of play?
I mean, there might be a relevant place for that play, but I'm yet to see it. Because currently SSG is struggling in this league, and I think that if they were to play a more aggressive style, which they're capable of, they have amazing play ball on that team, they'd probably be in a much better position.
Yeah, I mean, I think Poro was talking this morning about when they were Pecadores before they signed, and they were just like insanely powerful in terms of frags and fights. They had the potential, and we know that they have the potential. Just where's that breakage that's preventing it from happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's always strange just bringing up Pecadores. It's always strange seeing how teams, they sign up, like they start playing really strong, and then they get signed, and it's almost like the pressure is too much for them, and they are afraid to make moves. But we're seeing, finally today, this is something we've been calling for weeks. We want teams to start making moves, and you're seeing teams like Vicious and all these other teams and Lazarus, who are like lower on the bottom, finally starting to make moves and actually have better games on the final day.
So that's a great point. As someone who used to shot call, or used to be a leader in game.
Okay, we got a couple of seconds. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Any last words? Anything you want to say to the crowd? I can't ask you a question. We're out of time.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
That's good. Thumbs up.
The NPL Contenders is the path to Pro League that no one wants to get off early.
Oh, look at this lineup!
There's only 1 week left for these teams to battle it out for the top 10 spot.
Right here, and he's going to be trying to showcase his skills. And there it is. Who will rise and who will fall? Tune in next week at 5 p.m. to find out.
game left in NPL Split 1, but first, Cameron, highlights of Game 3.
Marveling at the barrel. Best gun in the game within 50 meters.
Loves the barrel, hates the bus, as does Pat Caps. Knocked down. Sharp Shot lives up to the namesake. Or doth he?
Gets Sharp Shot. Say that about him.
Back jump over to WC to my turns left, but he gets pushed from the right. Noble with the burn down.
Yeah, a lot of teams just trying to go big on the final moments, the final Miramar map, and whoa, what wasn't big was Smurf's health pool here, only 2.
Yeah, that's the Mikado. That's a Murado life
what?
for you.
The Mikado?
The Mikado. It was like Picado and Murado mixed together in a glorious cacophony of misspeaking.
Let's pretend I give you that one and just move on.
Came out hiding behind the car, using it for cover, but you know what? That field was rough. Not a lot of places to go, and one by one, teams are eliminated. I gotta be honest with you, Cameron, it's all the teams that you wanted to see eliminated, so that it got, like, everyone who was on the cusp of something was still in it.
Yeah, it was a very tense couple of ending moments, and Simplicity, though, coming up huge. We were worried that Ghost would just continue to push that lead, but they're coming up big on the second to last game, getting a fair number of kills. They get second place, but with 11.
WTF went out and the math began. Everyone thinking, okay, they're down. Where do we get our points? How do we secure our position? Interrogate playing for survival. Couldn't get the flush. They go out in 5th place, hoping it's enough to maintain 3rd or 4th when it comes to going to London. Down to the last circle, Cameron.
So I was worried for Smoking Aces here because they really let a lot of bad neighbors into their nest, but they were able to come out with the win with 10 kills. You would like to see a little more in that situation, but hey, a win's a win. You heard them say it on stage. Now they can relax for the final round.
Exactly. They get off of the relegation cusp. They're going to feel comfortable about that going forward, but it does bring some more teams into the question mark. I'm curious to see where that ends up, but a heads up for you guys. Remember, you're not going to see scoreboards, you're just going to see fun maps, things like that. Here comes the AR of Miramar as we look at the last one. But I do want to say, keep an eye on Endemic and Space Station Gaming. When we started today, both of them seemed like they were safe from relegation. They are now the next 2 in line to be knocked down if Ghost Simplicity continue the onslaught of points they've been putting up.
Our young prodigy said it just moments ago that teams need to start being more aggressive, and those are 2 teams that really haven't started to do so. Sure, Lazarus, Vicious, they've only just now started once they're in the bottom 6, but for the final round, if for Endemic and SSG to stay out of that, they need to go aggressive. They need to get those kills.
There's a very real chance if either of those teams go out below 8th place with no kills, they're headed to relegation. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move to the next one. Final fight, again, Simplicity versus Smoking Aces. On one hand, Simplicity wants to secure a point outside of relegation cutoff. Smoking Aces wants to extend their lead out of relegation. In fact, I think this finish means both of these teams have done just that.
Yeah, it's a really tight, I guess, border for a lot of the teams trying to make the top 4, as well as trying to get out of the bottom 6. We don't know the numbers. We're terrible at math. Neither of us have math degrees.
It's fair.
So we don't really know. We just know it's very, very close.
I failed Algebra 2 twice in high school, so I don't mess with math.
I'm not that bad.
All right, that said, though, those are the teams that are going to be mixing it up. Featured teams in Match 4. And I can tell you this, 11th place Simplicity and 10th place Endemic. Those are the 2 relegation cusp teams. Simplicity needs to pass Endemic here. And YTEP Fate, who's currently in 5th, and Shoot to Kill, who's currently in 4th. Envy was the one we thought was going to be in 4th, Cameron. So that means there's maybe 11 points separating WTF, STK, and Envy and their ability to go to London.
Yeah, Envy is now in 3rd, but that's only from a couple of placement positions. But let's look at the tiebreakers here if everything else points-wise remains the same.
And points remain the same. First tiebreaker, kill points across all matches. Second, highest total points earned in a single match. Best match of the season. Third, highest kill points in a single match. And then, hopefully it never happens, but we get to 4th, kill points in the most recent match, and then placement in most recent match. That means that this last game takes on additional importance for the teams who may have to worry about a tiebreaker. That's how the tiebreakers go. Teams are incredibly close to each other, so it's relevant. Prize pool, Cammy.
This is what everyone's playing for, not just the top 4 to go to the FACEIT Global Summit. It's also 200K total, 100, 40, 20, and then 12, and then it's all just scraps of change after that.
Absolutely, but the big prize is top 4. We've got 3 teams fighting for it right now. WTF, SDK, and Envy are on the cusp of eternal glory playing in the Face It Classic. Which one's going to be the one to go? I can't wait to find out.
It's incredibly close. That's all we know.
And obviously, it's going to be nice to be 3rd over 4th. The prize pool jump is significant. But that's it. Cammy and I are done, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful season. Thank you for spending it with the 2 of us. Let's send it over to the Larry, Curly, and Mo of PUBG. Porosaurus, Matchum, and WTF Moses.
Was Curly bald? I can't remember.
100%. 100%.
Fair enough. Well, yes, indeed. We are at the final game of the first split of the first season of the NPL. It all comes down to this. Tempo Storm atop the leaderboard looking down at everyone, but there are still so many stories left to be told as we have contention out of relegation and trying to get to that global summit in London. There's a few spots available there that maybe are still in contention, but mostly it's looking at the bottom half of the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been good. I haven't gone and looked up the scores.
Yeah,
I don't know how close anything is. I have no idea. All I know is now all of a sudden 10th and 11th, we're looking at Endemic and Simplicity. 4th and 5th, we're looking at Shoot to Kill and Y10 Fate. This is going to be so close. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
I mean, there is so much on the line inside of this game, and you still have that big X factor at the top. That's Tempo Storm just kind of doing whatever Tempo Storm wants to do.
We'll find out now. It's time for the last match. As we just stated, the plane is in the air. We are headed from left to right, north to south. Shoot to Kill out of the plane early, looking to probably go to Zarky. You know, Shoot to Kill has been, unfortunately, on the rough and tumble today, as they have not been having the day they wanted to try and lock up that second place. And any hopes of first, obviously, long gone now.
Yeah, such long rotations that they have had to deal with. Like, I mean, part of it is just choosing places like Zarky, but it's just, it feels like the circle is just never their friend.
Yeah, and they've been just having a hard time coming in from that northern side. You know, we always refer to them as the kings of the north, and it's just not been working out in their favor today. They've been having a lot of company up there and not necessarily coming out unscathed from fights the way they're normally accustomed to.
I gotta say, Tempo, are you really gonna go for your same loot strategy? Like, come on, bruh. There's gotta be something that's up your sleeve to do something.
All right, and also here's the factor. Lazarus is dropping back down towards military base, playing a more standardized game.
Right.
Are they gonna do well whenever they play standard?
I guess we'll find out. But for Simplicity, they got the pressure on. Last game, they came out relatively close to on top, but they still ended with that 5th place finish. They got a couple of kills through there. I was talking to Wooly. He's like, I cannot believe out of 40 games, it still comes down to 1.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see our circle has 5, but he's going to find out. United Dealer Taylor J with the pistol over the shotgun. That feels bad, man.
That's a pump action shotgun memory right there. One for the wall of disappointment with the pump action shotgun, but Taylor J, man, you gotta be feeling good.
United, Vicious Gaming, they keep going toe-to-toe around this area. They've also had Space Station Gaming also choosing to come in and contend around it. To get the last round started off with a pistol versus shotgun duel and Taylor J coming up on top of it, I like it.
It's definitely interesting for sure. As He's checking on Y10 Fate. They do have their normal Razak spot. The circle has popped. It's going to go dead center. It's going to be pretty nice for everybody. I think only 3 teams actually outside of the circle as we speak, but a lot of rotations still left to go. A lot of people going to be trying to find their ideal location where they want to call home.
This is the most standard Pachinki circle, or I should say Erangel circle that we normally see. Harkening back all the way to the first days. This is why Tempo is where they're at. This is what C9 wants to see. Simplicity also finding themselves center of the zone. Unfortunately for Ghost, they're still on the bubble, but they will have an easy path into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have our focus teams, but we don't know what the points are alike around that. I mean, it could be so close here between 8th and 11th or 12th even, and it's just so hard to tell. So a lot riding on the line. We see Shoot to Kill in their in this Zarky location, which is relatively, I don't want to say new because they have dropped here before, but you know, taking that northern edge to the extreme, to say the least here.
Well, it has been working out for them to a certain degree. It's really influenced their rotations as they have such long rotations that they have to deal with. Normally, This time around, though, the circle actually does kind of favor them that they don't have too far to go. They have to assume, gee, the guys that are probably in Georgia Pole North, they're not going to make too big of a rotation push out of that spot. So they don't have to really worry about their first rotation like they normally do.
You know what? I got to say, for those of you at home wondering, like, what's up with the scoreboard? Well, you know what? It was my idea. Okay, how about that? You want to blame someone? You want to throw your weight into your vitriol? Just give it to me. And also, I checked. There's no potential way for you to check other than our scoreboard. There's no feasible way. Don't even try it.
Yeah,
okay?
Googling is not even enough at this point. Like, just throw all that out the window.
Yeah.
And throw all your hate towards Moses.
Absolutely.
He's the hero that we need,
exactly.
not the one that we deserve.
Been training my whole life for this.
Just embrace the fun of the anticipation.
just-
I mean, come on, guys. We're supposed to have fun with this.
Just take a breath, calm down. And you know what? For Oxy, I got to say, we had an opportunity yesterday to talk with these guys. You know, obviously they had a big game yesterday. Not where they want to be in the leaderboard, as any prideful team would be, but for these guys, they've all been showing us just how classy they are, and what a story for Oxymoron to climb through the ranks and make it here to the NPL. And I got to say, they are an example for anyone with dreams of playing professional PUBG.
Absolutely. I mean, go back to yesterday. So we
I
make
appreciate
sure
it.
that every single fence is taken care of here. But go back to yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch it yet, go watch the final game of the day where Oxymoron just went on absolute tear. J-Sank proved to everybody that he is a for real legit player. I mean, it was such a great moment, and I can't wait to see how these guys do in the relegation matches. Hopefully, we'll see them back for Split 2.
Interesting positioning coming out of Hetjor. He's just decided to go on near as close to middle as he can get, and that kind of puts him in the Badlands just south of Sunken City. Well, the rest of his team is still up around Rajak. You don't really see too many people opting into playing this position so early, but Cloud9 does tend to rotate out of Pachinki and go north.
Looking at the way Y10 Fate, I mean, I think we kind of are sensing right now just kind of the big game that Y10 Fate needs to have. And when I say big, I'm talking like 17 kill victory type style game here for Y10 Fate. That's maybe even more so. Again, it's Y10 Fate putting themselves in an awkward position. Not obviously facing a relegation, but really wanting to get to that London major or London Global Summit.
And that adds that whole extra level of pressure. Whenever you know you need that big game and you are so close to getting your dream, going and playing and representing North America over in London, they're trying to do everything they can, and I'm 100% with you, Moses. I think that's why Hetjor was reaching out, seeing if maybe he could catch Cloud9 in rotation, get a little bit of damage onto them. Simplicity, also in a similar boat. They're wanting to avoid that relegation spot. Everybody is just kind of playing this a little bit more calm. We had that first kill, but everybody is just being a little bit passive to get this underway. Everybody wants to make sure that they make the right call at the right time.
Simplicity's got to be feeling it.
Well, so far things are working out in the favor of Y10 Fate. As we say they need all these things to go their way. They need to have this perfect game. Well, so far the circle falling right on top of them. They have a center position. They have things going their way. Now the question is, what can they do with it? You have C9 holding down the position where they're kind of, we're used to seeing them in this little 2-2 split. So meanwhile, Envy, look at this. They're coming in from the north side of Razak here.
Yes, indeed. They're going to be coming through and putting a little bit of pressure onto Razak now. And Envy, knowing that likely at this stage, Y10 Fate will be around this area. So a bit of a bold move here from Envy, who have not had the best day. They've been trying to get it going, but again, very capable team at any given time. But they're going to keep moving on as Hypoc and the rest of the squad move to rejoin in that Watertown region. So for Y10 Fate, you know, I got to say, who won the first game of the NPL Portal?
That'd be Y10 Fate.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have one more chance here for Y10 Fate to bookend victories on the entire first split, and they've got the circle to support them. We'll see if they can have it in them now.
I just love the fact that we're seeing Y10 Fate and Envy both just trying to take control of their destiny. Y10 Fate stretching out, trying to find those kills. Envy kind of bullying around where Y10 Fate normally hangs out at. These are all measured and intelligent choices for each team to make.
I mean, you talk about Y10 Fate, you talk about Team Envy, shoot to kill. These are also all teams that have been around forever. I mean, these players themselves, I mean, they've been maybe playing on different teams, but these are guys that have been around since the beginning of the scene, and it's so just apropos, really, to see these guys battling it out for this spot to go to this first Face It Classic.
Y10 Fate finding a bit of a terrain spot here to hold on to. This is an interesting choice for them, but for Simplicity, they're already getting these little shots taken at them and from across the way, and Y10 Fate is no different as the center zone starting to fill up. Tempo Storm, You know, I got to say, a little disappointed we're not seeing a little bit more excitement out of them right now, considering their massive lead. But they are just, they're playing it out. They're practicing as they play in this situation.
Got Endemic something over on the top of Everest. Uncivil playing down on the other side of it, looking back towards Oxy. A little bit of an exchange went through, but should be able to get this res fairly safe. But Oxy's still taking a couple of pot shots back up on this angle, so it looks like they're going to decide to use smokes just to be safe.
That's going to be 1 kill picked up for Shoot to Kill already, as we remember Shoot to Kill in 4th place, Y10 Fate in 5th, chasing that. So Y10 Fate got to be keeping an eye on the scoreboard there. Not necessarily watching it, don't freak out over it or anything, but just kind of keeping an eye and kind of knowing what your position is, what you really need to do, as we see the new circle has popped and is going to be centering up over those Razak fields, those rolling hills.
Nothing too crazy for most of the teams. Almost all of them already inside the circle, as you can see. Dimic might have to go for a reposition, but really Lazarus and Vicious Gaming bumping into E United again.
Gotta say, this has been a bit of a frustrating start for both of these teams. They're gonna press the action. Dill Hero is not gonna leave anything to chance. He comes out, cleans up Dash, and they're gonna get the res onto Pistola time, so that's another point from VG going to E United.
But Ghost, look at this. They hear the firefight. They are running down after this. E United has to be so cautious. This is very, very crazy coming out from Ghost. They're making a super aggressive early play off of this. They're wanting to try to go for the positioning off of it. Already spot out Dill Hero, a little bit damaged. He's going to go ahead and just get downed and flushed. Numbers now definitely in the favor of Ghost.
Quick flush there coming out of the boys from Ghost. McCoy gets the down and the quick finish. They're going to pick up that 1 kill. Looks like they're going to pull off of this for now, though. Not really wanting to fully commit to this, as they are on the edge. You always have to be a little bit aware of that.
Bit of a hit and run here for Ghost Gaming. They have to avoid this getting tangled up on the edge of the zone. E United not going to push the action.
But I think that was logical coming out from Ghost. They know the teams that are around them in that same contention point. So they step forward, did some damage to somebody that might be trying to climb up the leaderboard next to them, and now step away after they've done the wound.
So now, Venerated, he's going to be looking at Smoke and Aces. We've seen a lot of action coming through Razak so far in this early game, and as again now Smoke and Aces coming into to roost right now. But for Envy, they're not moving too quickly. They're trying to take things nice and slow, but they have been spotted. Smoke and Aces are going to start taking shots their way.
Smoke and Aces, never afraid to take shots, specifically in the early game. We talked about these guys get first blood a ton. They following up right back behind Envy and how their rotation came into play. So Envy playing the other side of the hill just off of Rajak. And see, up on the top of it, we got Crow trying to get a little bit more information. They are running a 2-2 split, but Smoke and Aces doesn't look like they're wanting to play this too aggressive. They're just hoping to maybe get it down here or there. If they could get 2 off of it, they'd be great.
Just taking some random shots, letting them know they're there, not wanting to make them feel too comfortable. Just off to the west here, though, we have Y10 Fate holding down Watertown. Meanwhile, Shoot to Kill has pushed into Ruins as well. So these are 2 teams that are neck and neck in the standings, could be running into each other depending on how this next circle goes.
Ghost, I think, is playing a little bit worried here. They're stuck to the edge of the circle like glue right now, looking for a way to maybe find a path center, but through those Pachinki fields, it's extremely difficult to rotate. You can't go anywhere near there, especially at this stage of the game. Maybe a northern rotation might help Ghost find some pressure, or find their way out of pressure, I should say. But again, there's just not a lot of real estate available right now.
Yeah, Pachinki very much occupied right now by several teams, as we see Shoot to Kill continuing their rotation in here through Ruins. Looks like they might try to make their way over to the Yellows just to the south here, but they could risk running into Oxy here, depending on how far they try to push it. Looks like they're going to play it a little safe, though.
I really like this position from Shoot to Kill. This is a really sneaky little spot that you can get some great vision from. A lot of control. This little double-walled area, you end up with such a defensive position, but you have to be so cautious of the hills just back behind you.
Basher just taking a look around. I think they heard the vehicles, but don't really have any line of sight on this. But look at this, Oxy, full committal to this. They're pushing in here, so this could be bad news for Shoot to Kill.
Here comes the circle shift, and we're going to be headed towards that school area. Simplicity feeling very good now. They've got a strong hold in the center of the zone. They've got a compound all to themselves. Cloud9 looking their direction out, likely going to see Nerf rejoin forces along with Lobes, with K-Mind and Profi in the center of the circle, and that is going to be the pressure point along that western side. They're going to have great vision on all these teams. Shoot to Kill, Oxy, Wildcard, they're all going to have to make their way in there.
Look at Adam just waiting for anybody to potentially go for this peek. He has to have an idea that somebody might be pushing up onto it. He does spot out Basher, takes a couple of shots at him. Basher's just turning back around and running back up onto this. Adam doesn't manage to connect and get the down, but that is going to reveal Basher all by himself. The rest of the members of Oxy already gone for a reposition over on Purdy Curdy's side of this fight.
Maybe no grip on that SKS there for Adam.
Yeah, that was a little rough little shot there, but Purdy's going to go down to Clam, or J-Sank. Or Clam, well, going to go down to Clam. J-Sank going to try to go for the flush here with the grenade. This could be going worse for Shoot to Kill here.
And this could be a big problem for Shoot to Kill. They're needing to control their point totals right now. They've got Oxy that steps up, but Uncivil denies the main killer coming out from Oxy. J-Sank is now down. Basher's going for a reposition. Everybody's just trying to get their reses off and look at the rotation coming through, but why tempt fate? Here's the fight, starting to move over slowly and steadily, trying to do this as measured as humanly possible, trying to run over. Clam's gonna be able to get the res. Now Basher in a very necessary position, caught up against Uncivils. This is essentially a 1v1 as both reses are going back off. Purdy Curdy does manage to get it. Uncivil spots out Basher and drops him. This is starting to get really rough for Oxy.
Yeah, unfortunate turn of events there as Basher looking to move into the foreground, unable to get anything going, having to drop everything. He's tossing all his gear. His day is over, his split is over, and Basher will be in the lobby now, watching the rest of his squad try and deal with the remnants of Shoot to Kill.
Shoot to Kill managed to get their res back up, still 4-man strong, now firmly aware that they have the numbers control back over towards Oxy. Oxy in a very dangerous position right on the edge of the circle, playing the Badlands, not known for the most cover. Shoot to Kill starting to get more aggressive with it as Adam gets the down onto J-Sank again.
Yeah, White Temp Fate not wanting to commit too much to this. You can see they're trying to see if they can get an angle, but not really wanting to push out as the grenades are going to come out from Halo. They look pretty good. They're going to land right on top of him, and that's going to be Oxy going out in 16th place. Shoot to Kill with another punch of points for themselves.
Why tempt fate? Shoot to Kill right next to each other. We're kind of keeping an eye on. Remember, there's guys in those cusp spots, and these are our two follow teams right now. A Shoot to Kill. Why tempt fate? Taylor J though looks like he's crouching right up next to Tempo Storm. They're trying to get a res off.
I'm liking this positioning and this aggression from Taylor J. The spray comes out, not gonna land right away. Who will get Maluk down? Zappa, he's low health. Sharky on the flank, they're pressing, and there's just too much. And now it's gonna go back to Sharky. Again, the spray, and man, Tempo Storm just not taking their foot off the gas.
Got two members down at the time. E United's trying to go for a little bit of a reposition. Looks like Geist doesn't want to have anything to do with the rest of this fight. He's trying to go for a low in flank, maybe try to sneak back around him. They have to be aware that the damage is done. And if you can get close range with the DP, man, you can do a ton of damage. But it's taking so long for him to get the vision. The reses are starting to come back off on this. This could turn out to be very terrible for Geist as he's not inside the safe zone. He's going to have to run right along a full 4-man Tempo Storm, and he realizes it. He's just trying to get away from him.
Yeah, and unfortunately, no utility, no grenades there for guys to be using on top of this. They know that they had the 2 downs onto Tempo, but guys, the last remaining player up for E United. But I mean, at this point, what are they really playing for here? I say go for it.
Endemic now encroaching right up next to Simplicity. They've got to be a little bit dangerous around the outside of it. Something actually ended up giving himself a little bit of a love tap there. Pentalol's looking back over towards Ghost. Long-range grenade could come out. The angle looks like it could be a little bit awry off of it, but Wolf now nowhere to really go, just trying to make loops around to meet up with his friends, but there are so many people along this hillside.
I gotta say, Simplicity allowing Endemic to get in here. Ghost coming on the northern side. They're feeling the pressure now. This is a big matchup between Simplicity and Ghost Gaming on the edge of the circle, with Endemic taking shots north towards Lazarus. This whole area is completely awash with players.
Everybody's looking back up towards Woe, but Fozu's actually managing to make landfall right up on top of them. He's slowly approaching over on that other side of it. Shots now coming out from Walt Jr. They're going to take down Lazarus members. Starting to get a little bit hectic on the outside as there are a ton of teams all right next to each other. We've got Lazarus, Endemic, Simplicity, all looking back and forth with each other. Ghost on the outside of it. Wildcard, Cloud9, Shoot to Kill also approaching on a similar vector. This is just starting to turn into sheer pandemonium on this part of the circle.
Endemic needs to try to pick up as many kills here as possible. They're trying to hold on to that 10th place position. They have Simplicity just on the other side of the street, but they can find no angle here to get involved in this fight.
Got Fozu right up in the face of Endemic. Reses are starting to come off for them, though. Endemic aware that they do have Simplicity on the other side of this. Fozu's trying to figure out, okay, need to back off of this, try to find a different angle for it, but he's going to make a lot of noise in that reposition. I believe that Endemic did hear him, now starting to position around this specifically. Off in the distance, we also still have Space Station Gaming way up towards the top of this as well, so everybody has to be ridiculously cautious on any misposition. It's just going to be a down instantaneously.
YTEM Fate on the edge of the zone, still battling with shoot to kill. Ghost Gaming's got themselves a little bit of a dip. Their cars have been exploded, at least one of them has, and for Ghost Gaming, it's just going to be using this terrain. Here's YTEM Fate. They have this ridgeline to work with. Very difficult to push over because there'll be so many eyeballs looking their way. You can see Ghost to their left side there. They have Wildcard in front of them. Shoot to kills there as well. YTEM Fate just looking to pick up any kills. Kind of get Uncivil down, and they will. And that's a quick finish there.
Looking back over, trying to take any more shots they can, but they're going to connect over onto a dead body. Adam now the last remaining member of Shoot to Kill that is up and alive. So we've got the two teams vying for, I believe, 4th place right now. YTEM Fate and Shoot to Kill right next to each other. Adam in a very precarious spot. Grenades are just starting to rain down next to him, and that just narrowly, that was so close to connecting onto him. Now Valiate starting to take some shots across the Badlands, seeing if he can spot out anyone.
You got to say, for Shoot to Kill, when you don't see Civil and Purdy's mouth moving, you know things are not going well with that team right now.
Cloud9 looks like they're trying to make the push back over towards Wildcard, but they're going to get caught up into a little bit of a skirmish as YTEM Fate's going to take a couple of pot shots that direction. That's going to be Shoot to Kill going out in 14th place. We've got YTEM Fate at 2 kills, looking back over towards Cloud9, connecting with a couple of those shots. They've got control, but New Circle is about 150 meters over towards their east.
YTEM Fate does have some nice position, though. They have these hills to play around and work their way into this next circle, but once they get there, they're going to have to deal with Tempo Storm and Envy.
We've got Tempo Storm just holding the angle on the outside of it. Extreme, the last member for Wildcard. He's got Cloud9 right on the other side of the hilltop. Got to be very, very careful about how he moves from here on out because YTEM Fate could take him down.
YTEM Fate needs to decide, do we try and wait for kills or do we try and make the zone? Because right now, it looks like they have to make that decision right this instant. The circle is going to force them to go one way or the other. They've got the potential to deal with Cloud9, maybe pick up a couple of kills on that side, but so many teams on that side of the circle, they're going to have to go north.
All of these teams still inside the circle, right on top of each other. You can see Endemic Lazarus looking back and forth. Off in the distance, there's also a little bit of a skirmish between Smoke and Aces and Envy as well. You can see Endemic, Minifridge Jr. just trying to see if he can spot out anybody. He can hear the footsteps around him. Off in the distance, that we also did have Space Station Gaming that was playing that. Now they're going for a reposition. With this, YTEM Fate made a really bold move out and around. They're going to put themselves right next to Tempo Storm.
Ghost actually helped YTEM Fate there. They kept Tempo from being able to push up onto the top of that hill and be able to get an angle of fire onto YTEM Fate while they were making this push. So now Tempo is just on the other side of this hill.
Oh, this is a big fight.
That's going to land off a little bit separated from both of them. Zampa's going to step back up. He's going to get spotted out, and he's going to get dropped off of it. That's going to be YTEM Fate getting control, getting that first down, flushing it. Now it's just 2 members of Tempo Storm down the hillside. Sharky in a little bit of trouble. Grenades are going to start raining down, but right up above this is going to be kind of a tricky grenade because you have to make sure to curve it down that hillside. Goes a little bit too far. Grenades are going back and forth, and they're so difficult to connect on. YTEM Fate now looking back over towards Ghost. They see a couple more kills they want to try to pick up, but cannot get them. They still have Tempo Storm right down below them. Envy's off in the distance as well. They have to be so cautious of any push that they make. They just want to take down Tempo Storm, but they can't get the peak.
This is pure desperation. YTEM Fate is trying to get as many kills as possible. That's 1 down. Sharky's going to do some damage to Hypoc. You can feel the desperation for YTEM Fate. They need so many kills, and they have so much going on around them.
Hetchwar still playing the top of this. They want to try to go for the res. Now it's just going to be onto 1 member. Valiate has to protect them. They're trying to get some more grenades off, just trying to get a little bit more cover. Sharky and the rest of Tempo Storm, they don't want to go for any more peaks on this. Maluk actually hopping in the vehicle, going for a little bit of a reposition onto it. Bullets are now raining down from up above him. Somehow he manages to make it away from this. Valiate gets taken down on that outside push. It's starting to be a little bit more time. Tempo Storm is starting to get more control, but there's so many bullets coming down around next to him. Baja taking shots way out towards Ghost.
But right now the circle has moved over towards the east, so YTEM Fate needs to get these red knights in reposition. That's going to be a nice down onto Balik from Baja Waka, but can he flush the kill?
Trying to get this shot off and just cannot connect with it. trying to get the curve and will not manage to get the flush onto that. Gonna have to keep an eye on it. Tempo Storm did manage to reposition. Keep in mind, there was also the fight between Envy and Smoking Aces just on the outside of that.
Sharky and Maluk are messing around right now. You might not be able to tell, but Maluk just jumped in his vehicle, drove around, gave Sharky an opportunity to flank, and they let that happen to him. So now Y-Temp Fate having to recoil and try and get back into this thing.
Sub-Zero has an angle, trying to take a couple of shots at the endemic players. We've been watching this fight for a while. All of these guys need to move. They are no longer in the new safe zone. Lazarus, Endemic, Simplicity, all stacked right up on top of each other. Endemic's trying to get a little bit more bold. Step back in on it. They do get the spin back around on a Sub-Zero. They're going to get the flush onto that as well. Fozu's playing along a different angle for this, looking back over towards Crispier. Does get the down onto it, but it's just more time as the blue is just slowly making its way towards them. Fozu decides that he's going to start stepping in, and he gets taken down. That's going to be a Lazarus getting eliminated.
That's huge for Endemic. They needed these kills. As we know, they're right neck and neck with Simplicity in the standings, but now both teams side by side having to fight to get into this next circle right next to each other. Who's going to come out on top? Ghost has managed to get a position in circle as well to possibly gatekeep this.
Ghost just looking back this direction. You can see Simplicity was thinking about taking a little bit more of a bold position. He's going to be spotted out by something. A couple of shots do not really connect with him, so he's just going to have to make the cross right up into Endemic. So he's the one man from Simplicity right up in their face. He gets taken down off the push. The blue is still pushing these squads closer and closer together, right up towards Ghost, but Ghost did have one of their members get down, so this could be the point for both teams to slowly make their way forward. Keep in mind, we have not yet had a chance to talk about it, but Noble is inside school, still 4 men up right now. They're just listening to all of this go down.
Watching on the side of the zone, you got Y-Temp Fate going at Envy. They seem to be getting the control up on the northern side. Noble is playing the gatekeeper from the school position. You said it, Matt. Well, he's way out of the circle. He gets caught by Wolf. He's looking the wrong way. It's up to Lixie. He's going to go down now as well. Endemic going down to the zone. Mini Fridge Jr., he's got low health and the game on his back.
Mini Fridge Jr. doesn't have time to go for the reses. There is going to be Pentalol just on the other side of the hill. Ghost still hears everything that's going on. Mini Fridge Jr.'s had a lot of damage come his way. Smokes are now coming out. Pentalol slowly creeping up closer and closer to it. It's actually going to be shots coming out from Boom. Noble guys we were talking about beforehand. He's got a lot of trouble coming his way. Looks like Mini Fridge Jr. is just going to try to spray into the smokes. Does not going to connect with it, and Boom is going to go ahead and take down Endemic. Meanwhile, Pentalol finding himself in a dangerous spot as well. Boom, really the outside position from Noble. They have a lot of control over this area.
You can see the concern on their faces for Endemic.
I mean, look, Y-Temp Fate is in a great position right now. They have this oversight over everything. Bahawaka is actually going to get taken down by McCoy, but they have to be on the move soon. They have the new circle that they have to work their way into here. And meanwhile, Ghost, Noble holding down this spot. Pentalol just going to try to stay alive for as long as possible for Simplicity.
Y-Temp Fate has just not gotten the kills they needed this game, I don't believe.
They're trying.
They're trying so hard, but you can feel it in the way they've been playing. They can't take the risks they need to without potentially jeopardizing their position.
They've got Envy right down below them. They did have Shoot to Kill go out very early. They do spot out Venerated, goes for the spray onto it. Venerated does manage to drop back down inside of his smoke. They're just trying to take what shots they can, praying one of them connects, gives them that extra point that they need, but it's going to be a couple of long-range shots now coming through. Venerated is essentially 1 point that's just trying to be passed between these two different teams. Venerated is just trying to survive. Here comes the push as it's going to be Ghost looking back up towards Y-Temp Fate as they're making a very bold choice, just trying to jump inside of vehicles, running down that hillside.
Y-Temp Fate used all their grenades on Tempo Storm. They could have cleaned up one more kill there from Venerated, but because of all that utility usage, they had nothing left.
Shrimsy has the angle, but does get forced back away from it from Hypoc. He wants to make his way over towards his home country. He wants to go play over in England, but he's starting to get a lot of pressure coming out from Ghost. Somehow Venerated is alive. Some shots are now coming his way as it's going to be Ghost right up in front of him. You can see Walt Jr. is trying to get the spray. Oddly enough, it's Y-Temp Fate that's taking the shots back over towards Noble that is protecting him at the time. Smoke's starting to come out from the guys from Y-Temp Fate. They know that they need to make a little bit more of a push, trying to find that right angle. Venerated takes a little bit more damage. Walt Jr. as well. It's just an exchange of damage back and forth as the push still continues.
There's still a lot of points left on the table. Right here as Valiant can sit down on it. Daculus from range. Can they get to find Venerated here through the smoke to finish off this kill, gain anotang point?
The flashbang came through. Venerated does get to spin back around onto Valiant, but he does go down, but way off in the distance, we've got Ghost. Walt Jr. still playing the angle. There's nowhere for them to go. That's just coming apart at the seams. Ghost is just tearing them apart on that angle. Hypoc is just running on no life, and he gets eliminated.
And there goes the hopes and dreams of YTEM Fate on the back of an excellent Ghost shot as McCoy follows up with another terrific headshot onto Walt Jr.
We're down to 7 people alive in the last round of the NPL. 2 teams. It's going to be Noble. On the other side of it, we've got Ghost. 3 members up on one side. About to have 2 reses pop off, so now Noble's going to be back up to 4. Circle right on the outside of their wall. There is near on no cover for anybody from Noble to work with. They're going to have to run and gun and use a ton of utility to get some type of positioning.
We have to talk about the phenomenal performance coming out here in the final day by Ghost Gaming. They were so close to being on the cusp here, but they have fought their way back and avoided this relegation.
McCoy called his shot. He said Sunday was going to be our day, and it is turning up roses for them right now. Noble still just trying to get a feel for what's happening in front of them. They're just going to have a tiny bit of a wall to play. Finally, Fudge, you can see, starting to make his way on the outside of the wall, trying to use a little bit more smokes, but there's just so little cover for them to work with.
This is really looking like Ghost. Unless Noble can hit some shots, that they should have this in the bag. Edak's got that bolt action ready. He's looking for his opening shot.
Balak takes a couple of shots back over that direction. Way off in the distance, we do have McCoy as well, looking back in towards this fight. So much smoke, so much utility. Keep in mind, Noble has been playing in that position for quite a while. Haven't had to use as much as necessarily Ghost or any of these other teams. Look at this. Noble is actually managing to crest their way, slowly making their way over towards this hill. This could give them equal footing. They just have to try to get a little bit of a more of a reposition. Walt Jr. knows this. He's going for the stretch over for it. It's really a 1v1. Who spots who first? Shrimzy has to be very careful as Walt Jr. does spot him out. Can Shrimzy hit the shots back over to this? No, actually Walt Jr. managed to make it to the rocks.
Shrimzy's letting them get the flank on him right now.
Now we have the position coming out. Boom, trying to get the angle, gets the down onto Shrimzy. McCoy now coming over, trying to take over this spot. Boom's looking back up the hillside, it's gonna spot him out. And that's gonna be Noble getting the last round victory of NPL Phase 1.
Wow, what a classic move. I mean, yeah, we're a little confused too. Shrimzy saw the press coming their way. Ghost just let it come right to them.
Noble Gaming and last day, last game, big performances. Name a more iconic duo. As you can see, the boys holding the Pepe up. That's going to be a 12-kill victory for them. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough to really make a difference. There's so much stuff, though, that was decided by this final game. But what a great performance by Noble there, holding down the school and just owning it.
Yeah, they had lots of time and space, Matt.
We talk about cusp teams. Second place, Ghost Gaming. Third place, YTEM Fate. Fourth, Envy. Fifth, Simplicity. This leaderboard is going to be nuts.
Lots of parents out in the field today to see their boys perform out here as Noble takes the last victory of the first split. It wasn't their time, but listen, it was their game.
Man, 7 kills for YTEM Fate in that third place position. We could see, I mean, shoot to kill finished way in the bottom. We don't know where they are. I don't know how many points were separating them at the beginning of the game. It's going to be close.
We got to give a shout out to Boom and Fudge, though. Boom showing up for Noble, getting himself 5 kills. Fudge as well back behind that. McCoy top fragging for Ghost, getting 4. Headshore, no surprise on YTEM Fate, getting 4 himself.
Good to see him wake up here on the last day.
Yeah, for Noble, it's been a journey. For everyone here, it's been a journey. But now the question stands. Who is going to be going to that London Classic? Who is going to be facing relegation? But wow, what a journey here in this first split.
All right, and here we go. Highlights from this last round. We can see it's going to be VZ walking up with the shotgun. Going to walk right into those pistol shots and get taken down by Taylor J.
That feels bad, man, for VZ. And I mean, he had no armor, no helmet, no nothing. The pump shotgun, though, is a fickle mistress, Moses.
Yes, indeed it is. The pump shotgun always feels bad when it doesn't go your way, but feels so good when it does. Uncivil looking for those long-distance shots. A shoot to kill. Wow, they were put through the ringer of this game as well. But it was VG and E United tangling up early and often in this game.
That's kind of surprising. It feels like E United always gets this enemy every single round. If you haven't realized it, they always have to be fighting against.
Yeah, Ghost actually trying to make a nice little performance here. Got the quick flush and the kill and then pulled away. As you said, Moses playing that edge, and here we see shoot to kill, trying to make stuff happen. They picked up a nice couple of kills here, but will it be enough?
Taylor J getting the spray back over towards Tempo Storm's Moluke. You can see that a little bit of a problem is now everybody just turns back around. That's the common factor when you shoot Tempo Storm, man. Everybody spins back around and is like, no, you don't do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Y-Temp Fate and Shoot to Kill, we'll be seeing that shortly. Or sorry, rather, Y-Temp Fate and the Tempo Storm on this ridgeline. This is a big one. You can see how often they tangled up. They were just pushing over this ridgeline. That's a rough push for Zampa, but he almost made it work, and this is Check Shooter going down.
I mean, Y-Temp Fate did everything in their power to put themselves in a position to where they could pick up a lot of kills and a lot of points, but here we go. Ghost McCoy just breaking the hearts and the dreams of Y-Temp Fate with a great positioning here on the side.
Ghost, I mean, look at that position. They have a beautiful sight line right along that wall. They had to expect somebody to have to leave it sooner or later. Noble, though, great repositioning coming into this. They managed to get 2 people on the outside flank for it, and they just step up into the fight with so little fear. I love to see it.
Shrimsy's the key man in that situation. But hey, it's one game, it's one play. You'll get that one back in the future. There's a long road ahead for Ghost Gaming and everyone else here as well. But I mean, wow, that was a final game to remember as Noble, having struggled so mightily, pick up a nice victory.
I love this fact you can see so many of the players are like, they've got out their phones and you have the calculators open like, okay, where are we at? How's it all breaking down? And here we go, match number 4.
22 points for Noble. That's a big game, and Y-Temp Fate picking up 12, man. There are some kills there they wanted desperately, Poro.
12 points. You see Shoot to Kill down there in 8th with 4 strictly off of kills. You can see who else were we keeping an eye on? Endemic, 8 points. Simplicity, 6. Oh, that's
it's
so
very close, man.
It's so close. We're going to have to go back to our final leaderboards to figure it all out. Tempo Storm finishing off the day with 2. I mean, obviously, you know where we're going to see them here shortly. But, I mean, look, great performance coming out from these teams, especially for Noble. That's a huge way to finish your first phase.
Matchroom, you asked, if Lazarus sticks to their normal strategy, what will happen to them? Well, I guess the question has been answered.
4-corner strategy for Lazarus from this point forward. I'm calling it right now. That's the way they should win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Y-Temp Fate, they've got to be feeling everybody here in anticipation as we're still tabulating the points here to figure out who's going where. But, man, I got it. What was your favorite moment so far from the first split, Poro?
Oh, man, that is...
never mind. Stop talking, Poro, damn it. Here's Moxie Moron coming in the last spot. Noble, 15th place. Lazarus, 14th place. And there's Space Station Gaming.
Space Station Gaming drops out of the top 10. They're going to be having to go and fight for relegation.
Oh, man, they have got to be feeling the disappointment now. Space Station Gaming, I think, came into this weekend in 7th place, dropping down to 11th. And there, the look says it all. And you know what? Unfortunately, Space Station Gaming, they have a road ahead of them. They got to figure some things out. Moving a little bit forward now. We're going to see, Y-Temp Fate missing out just barely. 283 points for them, but Simplicity dodges it. Endemic dodges it. Ghost dodges it. What a shakeup at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Let's give it up to Ghost Gaming and Simplicity for turning it up on this last day and getting the necessary points to push themselves out of relegations.
It took them to the last day, but finally Ghost ends up in a spot that's a little bit more respectable for themselves, getting themselves up to 8th place here off a great performance in this final weekend. But here you go.
There it is. Tempo Storm atop the leaderboard, but Shoot to Kill and Envy so close together at the bottom. So it's 4th place for Shoot to Kill, 3rd place for Envy, Cloud9 in 2nd place. But our winners, Tempo Storm.
Zampa's smiling. He caught it on camera. Aha. Yeah, I love how he can hear us now. He has the ear-nears out. So congratulations to Tempo Storm. These guys have been absolutely freaking dominant all split, and it is no surprise to see them at the top of this leaderboard.
I mean, at this point, you can't really say anything else about Tempo that has not already been said. Just like you said, absolute dominance from beginning to end. Just came in here, knew what they want, did whatever they wanted to do, they could do. I mean, nobody could stop them.
I gotta say, Tempo put on a clinic from start to finish. I gotta say, one last little shout out. Y-Temp Fate missing out by just a sliver of points, but man, Tempo Storm from beginning to end, 100% domination.
We're at the end of Phase 1. Let's do a quick recount of this. Phase 1 preseason, who won that?
Woo! There it is.
Tempo Storm. Who won the Battle Royale? Tempo Storm. Who wins Phase 1?
Tempo Storm.
These guys are going to have tons of big quality checks to play around with.
Absolutely, man. Big floppy checks. You got some You got some trophies to hand out, and boy, what a nice trophy. Rachel's handing out the microphones, but man, I gotta say, super, super impressive job. And everyone around the world is taking notice now of Tempo Storm.
Could not ask for better representatives than for North America going into this first international event than these top 4 teams, and especially Tempo Storm.
Gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys for phase number 2, but for now, it's down to the stage and our winners, Tempo Storm.
Thank you guys so much. Our winners are Tempo Storm. Not only did you clear preseason as the victors, not only did you claim victory at the NPL Royale, but now you stand here as our champions of Phase 1 of the NPL. And you guys, that's not even it. You qualified to go to the Face It Classic. You are taking home $100,000 in prize money, and you have established yourselves as the premier PUBG team in North America. So here's that esports question, boys. How does it feel?
Feels like I'm $100,000 richer.
It's about as good as it gets.
The rest of you, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. First place as always.
It feels great. One of the things I've always wanted to be, we've always wanted to be known as the #1 team in NA, and we're really glad that we can prove that. And hopefully, when we go to Globals, we can prove that we're the best team in the world as well. So it feels good.
I hope so, because that means you get us an extra wild card slot to send more players to the World Championships, right? So here's my question for you guys. It's been a long road. We've been around a long time, and it felt like it took a long time to find the last piece of the Tempo Storm puzzle. Sharky joined up with you guys for this section of the season. It's been winning ever since then. What did he bring to the team that makes you feel like you've really been able to take the next step?
For me, it's the fragging power, obviously. He's a really smart player. I think he's the best aimer in NA, without a doubt. And he just is really passionate as well. He always wants to win, and he strives us to win as well. So it's good.
Awesome. All right, I got another big question here.
Go for it.
Zampa, 6 months ago, you and I stood in a hotel hallway as you emotionally talked about not qualifying for PGI, the frustration Tempo was feeling at the time, and even thoughts of retirement. 6 months later, here you stand, the #1 team in North America, headed to the Face It Classic. What's that journey been like, and how does it feel to be back at the top?
During PGI, I really did not feel like we performed as we could have, and it really showed. We could have gone to Berlin, and then we were swapping around our roster, and eventually we found a perfect fit with Sharky, and he was able to close out games with us, so we are the #1 seed and the #1 NA team currently, so.
Very nice. I guess I'll finish up with one last one. Maluk, since we got everybody else on board, I feel like you've evolved a lot over the last couple of months. You're doing a lot more calling. It seems like you're more animated in general on the mic. Has it been an evolution for you, learning how to lead these guys from where you were sort of struggling to keep up to top team in North America?
I guess to an extent. It just, I've had a lot of teammates, and this is the first team I've had that it really feels like they have their trust in me 100%. They know that I'm going to lead them to the wins, and they trust what I'm telling them to do 100%, and they know that we can win games. I want to thank my family, obviously, for supporting me at home. I really appreciate it. I want to give a big thanks to Raynad and Tempo Storm. They scouted us out a year and a half ago, and they believed in us the entire run. Feels great to be, winning tournaments for them, taking them home. And last but not least, I really want to thank Red Bull and NVIDIA. They've been helping us out with boot camps, equipment, energy drinks, whatever we need. They've been with us every step of the way, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them.
And a special thank you to Sam Mayo for helping us out, sending us packages, and being in the crowd with us.
An incredible job, guys. You've done so well all season long, and I want to give an opportunity for your coach and your manager to say some words as well. What do you think of this team, and what does it mean to you to see their success like this?
They're nuts. I mean, they've been killing it since me and Sharky came on board, and I mean, yeah, they've just been playing out their minds. I hope they keep continuing to perform the way they are.
Well, you and your team have so much to be proud of here. And we have another opportunity for you to feel real good. We've got Alex Penn here, the North American Esports lead of PUBG Corp, with something special for you guys to take home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tempo Storm taking home $100,000.
the ultimate prize, the emergence of a North American dynasty. I'm excited to see what you guys bring to London and represent all of us well, and hopefully earn another spot for us to send more teams to the World Championship. Congratulations one more time, guys. Tempo Storm. But that is not where the story ends, guys. Another big side is we get to send 4 teams to London to represent North American PUBG. I want to bring all of them down on the stage, starting with 4th place. Shoot to Kill, come on down. The Ironmen of PUBG. These guys have been unstoppable and implacable and have put together some really amazing performances. 3rd place, Envy. Come on down, guys. Despite roster changes in the middle of the season, you've gone from struggling in the middle to dominating up here on top. And finally, in 2nd place, Cloud9. Come on down. Roster changes and the additional lobes, you guys seem to really find your footing. That said, these are the 4 teams that are taking it all the way to London to represent North America.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one more time for STK, Envy, C9, and Tempo Storm. This is North American Battle Royale.